I like cheaters. I can't help it.
Yeah. Now these tickets go for $40 a piece, and I'm selling them for $40 for two of them. Giants Patriots.
They got my broadcast link. Okay, cool.
I want to see the Patriots preseason. $40. That's why I carry them. I'm not going to be able to make it out of the country. I'm just carrying it around. So many Patriots fans. Oh my God.
A lot of people like cheaters. I'm a big fan of cheating. Like I'm a big
Wow. Bill Belichick. All right.
It's so strategy.
You can't tell me that when the Giants defense was playing for two Super Bowls on the Bill Belichick, we had two of them, that Bill Belichick wasn't reading the signals from the other side when he was with the Giants.
I don't know.
Just got caught. Belichick got caught way down the line to what he was doing.
I don't follow sports. All I know, the Patriots are like unabashedly cheaters, which I
See, I'm an economic major at Pace University, and us economic guys, we go to the penny. Every edge, every nth, because we understand the smallest of margins here will be the largest of margins over there. And that's the way he is. Every little thing. I'm sure you know about those balls. You're gonna tell me. I'm a cameraman, right? My shutter on my camera fires off. I can hear it when I know it's too slow. I can hear the exposure at this point in my career. I know when I'm off. You're gonna tell me one of the best quarterbacks in the history of the football game doesn't pick up a football and say, "Hey, it's a little underinflated." Like that guy. He sleeps with footballs.
That's what happens when you. I'm gonna make a sort of a connection to Hillary Clinton. That's the same thing with the DNC leaks. Some people would rather admit that they're incompetent than they're corrupt. And at a certain point, it's just like they're gonna admit that you would rather admit that you don't know what a real football feels like, or that you're unaware of what your own campaign is doing, as opposed to just being okay. You know what? It's okay, guys.
Well, it's like Christie had that thing with Bridgegate. You can't tell me you're a hands-on guy, hands-on guy. It's like, well, but that I didn't have my hands on it. you can't be.
You
can't have that both ways.
It's like I'm 90% through a PhD. Like I'm okay. I believe a lot. I believe a lot of
Where
things.
You going?
Huh?
Where you going? What school?
Oh, I did my graduate coursework at Binghamton University, and I just finished.
Covering the floods there.
Did you get the water there is awful. Like I was telling people for like my 3 years of PhD, I think like the water here tastes funny. They're like, no, it doesn't. You don't understand. That's just I'm like, a month before I left. Oh yeah, there's lead in the water. Don't drink it. I was like, yeah, you can taste it.
Yeah, that's a whole other thing. They did the schools thing, right? Oh, this Flint, Michigan. Oh, there's lead in the water. The last thing they want to do is start digging up every pipe in every school in America. And you know damn well there's old schools with lead pipes in all over this country. The kids are drinking.
I study schools. That's my.
It's like, God, man.
Like
there's lead paint on the ceilings of these old places, and but once you say something, like I covered the floods, not the floods. I covered Katrina, but I covered the oil spill prior to that. Was that prior to that? I don't know which was the oil spill, BP oil spill. Went down there, was down in Ohio, and all that kind of crap, And we get there, and they got people dressed in like white nuclear suits picking up oil on the beach. I'm like, really? There was more oil on the gas station floor across the street than there is on the beach right now. And these people are walking around like it's this overdoing it. Like it's lead in the paint. We're gonna have to bring $1 billion to clean up this place. Like, oh my God, the bureaucracy kicks in. We're all prison of bureaucracy. But my thing is, my pet peeve is the fascism of safety. The fascism of safety, the concept of that. We don't want you here, so we'll find a reason it's not safe for you to be here. It's moved into the political realm. Fascism of safety.
We're going to start in about 3 to 5 minutes. We'll just give a couple of people enough time to come and set up, and we'll start. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks.
Are you kicking on your light there? Are you kicking on your light? Huh? Will you be using your light?
I don't know. You need it?
No, I don't know. I have to walk it. Probably not. I probably got it.
If you want to use it, just let it know. It'll pop on.
Maybe at one point. Nobody sat there yet, so
This is my new shirt.
it's one of those things that look like raccoons. It's like, shadows from above. Raccoon effect. So. And the PhD's on. What's your major? What's your graduate?
I'm an anthropologist. I study education in communities.
Whoa.
Yeah. I study the intersection of public institutions and communities. also jump like really high.
I used to do that.
Yeah.
I had 40 and all. I had 44 and all pieces. I used to run 30-minute 5-mile marathon. Yep, that's gone. The metabolism changed by 45. Like, done. And then this business kills you too because you work all the time. You eat at bad hours, and we have no union. And 90-hour week is not uncommon.
There's never a bad hour to eat. I refuse to believe that.
They say post 9 you shouldn't, but when it's 9:30, you haven't eaten all day. Like, try to tell you something. I can have something to eat.
You picking up my feed? Yes, they are.
The Green Bay Packer colors. Probably they do good in Wisconsin.
Good for some cheese. Okay,
Lighting matters in candidates. Christie had the best lighting as a governor I ever saw. And then he went on his national campaign. He had the worst lighting as a candidate I ever saw.
You don't want that. You don't want that Emperor Palpatine shadow thing going on. It makes you look menacing.
You want pictures that sell.
Okay.
Always comes down to.
I'm not going. I'm not live, am I? They're gonna hear me. They're gonna hear me talking. Okay, so we're gonna go up there. Make a nice close up. I have my other phone.
Right. There was so much African mentions. She was doing stuff. She said, just times this. Damn, I'm stuck with Trump today. I'm stuck with Hillary.
Oh, it could be worse.
What do you use the car reader thing for? Are you recording?
No, this is it's on a battery.
Oh, it's a battery. It looks like a car reader.
Yeah.
Exactly like something like recording it onto a stage card. Is that what you do?
If you're gonna stream to like multiple sources, because so I have someone, I have one of my producers. Okay, they can probably. Oh no, I don't like care. One of my producers is he just picks up the stream and he restreams it like all over the place. So like it's going to multiple like
That's good.
it's going to multiple channels.
That's how my pictures go. You go to one, and they go. Everything I got.
He's at a switchboard right now, or whatever you call it, like, a computer just in California. It's like transferring it to like 25 places or something.
And hopefully those 25 reach me another 25. Next thing you know, you're in DC. That's good.
Womp womp.
I lived on this block for 10 years. I've been out of here for 4 years now.
I live in Brooklyn.
This isn't bad. It's a funny thing. At night it's the Mardi Gras, and in the morning it's like Dominican grandmothers take it over, kids like grandchildren to the bus. It's empty.
After being gone from, I was born and raised in New York City. After being gone in the Rust Belt for 7 years, it's so much better. It's just, I can't.
New York is addictive. I could work in LA now. I could offer these.
Anywhere, I would never move anywhere I can't walk places anymore. I can't do it. I can't live in places that, like that's my new thing. If I ask you, like, oh, do I need a car to live there? And they're like, what do you mean? I'm like, can I get places without a car? And they're like, no. Okay, no, thank you.
Yeah.
It's like, no, thank you.
Just hang in.
Walk.
What are you doing? We're only on that 5-minute portion.
It's cool. Everything's cool. Everything's fine.
Green Party. It's just got a lot of lift in this country. It got propagandized, I think, by the European conception, America's conception of the European Green Party.
I don't think it was that big of it. I don't think that was a big. I don't think that's the big selling point anymore. I think now people are just unable to extract popularity from like actual quality. It's like I hear people, getting debates on my show all the time about how, like, oh, the viability of the Green Party. It's like, okay, you're confusing, you're not really engaging with why one party seems more viable than the other, and it's like large swaths of money. Because it's definitely not like the vague historical genealogy of the Democratic Party. That's such nonsense.
Yeah. And the Republican Party.
At some point, it's just nonsense.
Oh, boomers, probably. Like they bust up the banks, make nice products.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for coming to the press conference. My name is Melissa Figueroa. I am the press director for the campaign. Thank you for coming. Are there any preliminary questions before I bring the candidates up to the table? And has anyone not gotten a card from me? You haven't? Thank you. No preliminary or logistical questions?
Well, the one that I told you about.
There's no malt box, just.
There is, if you'd like to set up your microphone, I can go ahead and, here, we can use one of these stands. Let's try to use these.
I could just sit in the front row and.
Okay, would you
Yeah,
like
if
to
it's
do
not.
that?
Yeah, sure.
Wonderful. Any other logistical questions related to equipment setup, et cetera? Okay, thank you very much. I will bring the candidates up to the table momentarily. Thank you.
Not double. Great.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you all for coming out on this global warming day, where global warming is rolling out its devastation all around the country, where we have record fires going on the West Coast with something like 80,000 plus people who have been evacuated, a fire which still is only something like 25% contained, and which the incident commander says they have never seen a fire behave like this before, and clearly this is the impact of continuing drought and heat on the West Coast. We're also seeing the tragic and devastating floods in Louisiana, with now somewhere around 40,000 homes that have been damaged, tens of thousands displaced, and the usual strategies for dealing with the housing emergency are simply not feasible because there is no rental housing that's available for people. And again, according to NPR, this is flooding like this area has never seen before. In fact, in a region which is not even classified as a flood zone. So for many families, there is no potential of receiving flood insurance. Add to that, we have heat waves going on around the Northeast right now. And recent studies have raised real questions about sea level rise, with the NOAA, the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, reporting at a recent National Insurance Industry Conference that they had just received a so-called "Oh my God" study from scientists working in Antarctica. And what the scientists had reported in this so-called "Oh my God" study was that we could see as much as 9 feet of sea level rise as soon as 2050, which will certainly be a devastating event for cities all over the world, including around the United States for coastal cities. It also includes devastating impact for the many nuclear power plants, and there are well over a dozen in the United States that are located basically in coastal zones that would be impacted, and essentially the potential to go Fukushima. It would be very hard to stop catastrophic developments in all of those nuclear power plants, including here in New York. And just a word about that study. That study adds to the weight of evidence described by James Hansen, the foremost climate scientist, who published in March of this year his peer-reviewed study that again cited the potential for, I'm quoting, several meters of sea level rise over a time scale between 50 and 150 years. So that means as soon as 50 years is the lower end of that time scale for what he describes as a several meters sea level rise. And he also states in that study that recent data suggests that we are at the lower end of that time range because of the growing rate of sea level melt, putting the estimate closer to the 50 than to the 150 years, all of which is to say we need to take action. You know, we need to take action not only to relieve the people who are impacted by these disasters right now, but we need to ensure that these disasters do not become a daily way of life for all Americans and people actually all over the world. So we are calling for declaring a state of emergency, actually, declaring a climate emergency so that we can respond in real time in the way that we need to. We also call for a solution, which we call a Green New Deal, that will address two crises at once, both the crisis of the climate and the crisis of our economy. While we're told we're in a recovery, for most Americans it's not a recovery, it's still a state of emergency. With most workers now receiving average wages for workers are just barely above the poverty level. And recent census data says 1 out of every 2 Americans is either in poverty or low income. And we know that with the so-called recovery, the jobs that have come back are low-wage, part-time, and temporary jobs that do not provide the economic security. It's founded on the New Deal, which got us, and specifically the Green New Deal